Blog Talk Radio.
It's Wednesday. We're talking about fire. On the TIVOMIKE show. Live to tape from Providence, Rhode Island. It's the TIVOMIKE show. Sid is so dumb.
Yes, it is.
It's crazy. Grace is king, and die to self has replaced YOLO as the life motto of choice. I'm your host, TIVOMIKE.
And I'm entertainment guru, Mike Warner. Thank you for joining us, Saints. We're so damn glad you're here.
That's the blaze from fire. From backdraft to fire.
I can't even
It's the greatest of all things.
So, yes. So, it's a day early, guys. And that's because SVU and them just don't have anything going on right now.
Which is crazy.
Talk about. And you know what? I get it.
Maybe they're like on an island chilling. Like,
they probably are.
Yeah.
Having mojitos.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. They're dealing with rape every week. Yeah. So, like, let's just get happy, okay? Everyone watch your drinks. You know.
No roofies on the beach.
Yes, please. I'll just have water. My Lord, goodness. So they're a little tired. I'm sure next week they'll get back to the rapes.
Yes.
Tonight, right? Tonight,
tonight they'll be back. Okay. But this is I feel like this is like the longest 2 weeks. Maybe because it might have been longer than 2 weeks, but I'm just like, goodness.
That's because This Is Us stopped after only 5 episodes. So we're like,
This Is Us, and they ended around the same time. So that's I'm like, oh, right, no.
It was a double hit.
Yeah.
And NBC, I don't know why they would have done that or allowed it.
They're smart.
They should have allowed that.
The problem is they're still beating out some of the other networks on those days. So even with this break,
wow, because
they've been showing reruns of SVU.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so people will still watch again.
Yeah, and they gave NBC Tuesday nights to ABC because they knew people were going to watch Roseanne. So there's no point in trying to.
No one's getting close to the 18 million people.
Yeah. Even This Is Us was doing great, but I don't know.
They weren't doing that great. Yeah, they weren't doing 18 million. I'm telling you, it's a tough new market we're in where live TV isn't the same.
I will tell you, though.
Podcast.
Because ABC has added Roseanne as part of their Tuesday night lineup for the fall.
Wow. So it's coming back that quick.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If they put it on opposite This Is Us, Roseanne, you may lose a viewer and I have to stream you.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, I had to watch This Is Us before.
It just gives me more.
There's more to it. There's already a built-in love and connection.
Yes, exactly.
You know, and before, it was a different time. So in the 90s, people didn't watch Roseanne and then pick a character that they connected with.
Exactly.
You just watched it to watch.
Exactly.
Like, oh, that's kind of like the normal thing.
I saw that, and I was like, ABC, better not do that to your number 1 rated show.
Right.
Because
it's only 8 episodes.
Exactly. And
so they're probably going to wait till This Is Us stops after 5 episodes.
Probably January or whatever.
When they do their season finale in October. Then they can go ahead and go for the rest of the year. It's a mess. How many more men can Kate kill? Seriously. You know?
I can't even stand you. So, I think Milo Ventimiglia lives in Chicago.
But isn't that Kate's new book? If I Kill Jack?
No. You're mixing her with OJ's story.
That's right. I got them confused because they both get away with murder. So,
Annalise was her lawyer.
That's right. She's back.
They were telling FX, ABC, and NBC.
Oh my God, they all came together and fused into the glory. And I just do like the Annalise is back. I hope that they keep that on track. Yeah. She don't need to be falling down no well like a character on the Lassie show. You know what I mean? We're done with that.
Yes, we are.
She's a put-together lady. She had people killed.
Exactly.
We all make mistakes. Now you move on.
We all make mistakes. But on last week's fire, we got a lot. So the week before, I told you guys about how Otis is in the hospital, almost died. Thankfully, he's not dying.
Right.
He's on the mend.
So then why did they even have that scene? Why was that necessary?
I think it's like what Walking Dead does, where they got to shake things up a little, because the ratings were still good. They weren't losing ratings.
Right.
You got to concrete your place.
Oh, that's true.
And
there's
always
always
things
competition.
coming. Yeah, so I think that gave you loyalty because Otis is one of the longest running characters.
Okay. So he was on the originals?
Yeah, he's been on since day one, at least season 1. He's been on the show, and it was a real life thing in the atmosphere of all these people hoarding guns and how it happened.
Right.
He's actually in recovery, so he's been going. He can't go back on the truck until he completes 2 months of rehab.
Wow.
So now you have an Otis who feels a little useless.
Well, that's the question. If you're a firefighter who can't fight fires,
what can you do?
What's your purpose?
Yes. So I will preface this.
Well, that's a good, deep life question.
The lady, her name is Connie on the show. She passed away 2 weeks ago. The week before, almost 2 weeks ago now.
Wow.
Unexpectedly. She's only 54 years old.
In the show?
No, in real life.
What?
Yes. So they dedicated last week's episode to her.
How did she die?
I forget the schematics of it. I was reading some articles, something with her, a health thing, but it wasn't like a known or this is down the road thing. It's kind of like, oh, she passed away.
At 54.
Yeah, and so she was in last week's episode because obviously this was not planned.
Right. That's right.
So
they probably filmed a lot more episodes.
There's a couple of episodes with her. I'm sure she's still going to be in it. So they have Otis helping her character in the office because he wants to feel needed.
Right.
So they wrote in where now he's.
So he's still going to work at least. He's not in the hospital.
He's out of the hospital now. Okay. Yeah. Last week they gave us the hospital, the rehab, the new guy filling in for him being all gung ho and thinking he's better than everybody, which I hate but love.
Yes, because it's always the new people. They have fresh perspective.
Yes,
I know what you did wrong. Yes. This is where it's going to happen from now on.
He's just a squad person, so he's trying to prove to the captain that I'm not like, because he's a floater, because he doesn't belong to one house.
Right.
So he's trying to prove to the captain, like, listen, I don't want this baby job stuff. I want to get on the scene. I want to be in action.
He wants to bring value to the marketplace.
Exactly. So, but the story behind it. So this guy, it's funny, and I love when they do this. His name is Cordova.
In real life or the show?
In the show.
Okay.
I don't know him enough yet. I haven't tweeted him yet. I'm still trying to determine where I feel about him.
If he's tweet-worthy.
Yes. But 2 seasons ago, maybe 3 seasons ago, when Gabby first was coming out from being an EMT to being a firefighter.
Right.
She had to go. She had gotten in trouble, so she had to go do a training at another firehouse because that's what they do the trainings elsewhere.
Okay.
She'd met this guy. Now this is before her and Casey, so it's not like she's cheating or.
I was going to say this cheated.
They had a history. It was only a couple weeks, but they had their little fling. Her and Cordova.
They just dated. They didn't have sex.
Oh no, they had sex. That's the bad part about it, right? The worst part is
what's with this world, baby.
When they come back to when now Cordova's introduced,
right?
You can see there's like a unawkwardness.
Like I've seen your penis, I've
seen
your vagina, and now you're working together. That is awkward.
Her awkwardness is she wants to tell her husband, "Hey, listen, just so you know, in the past, we had a thing.
He saw my breast and vagina."
Yeah,
well, the husband knows that
she's gonna go talk to him.
He think he married a virgin?
No, he knew he married a virgin.
Then there you go.
But he's going to, she's getting ready to tell him, and Cordova's like, listen, I'm never gonna get a fair chance in this firehouse if your husband, the captain, knows that we had anything together.
And that's fine. You're a floater anyway.
Yeah. Well, no,
and you should have thought about that and asked me who my future husband may be when you were in my legs.
Well, his thing is, he's trying to stop being a floater, and this is he thought was his opportunity, and now he's like, so she doesn't tell him last week when she was gonna.
No, that's
this is the lesson. This is because this is what I love about the episode. This is I told you we always get something out of it, right?
Right.
He doesn't tell her, and they go to commercial break.
Did you catch that, people? I was like, they went to commercial. What are these radio people? Oh, that was so clever. This is the TIVOMIKE show.
God's either real or he isn't. And Jesus either rose from the dead or he didn't. Each choice takes faith to believe. It's your decision. Just be careful you're not mistaking freedom for prison. See, if Jesus rose, then everything he said and did matters. But without a resurrection, all of Christianity shatters. It's the only faith in the world that ties its origins to an event, proving that Jesus of history is the God-man heaven sent. So if he isn't risen, then my faith is a joke. Jesus would be a liar and Christianity a pointless hoax. But this isn't blind hope, it's being certain of the unseen. It all stands or falls on one fact, not a made-up wishful dream. So there's no in-between, because if Jesus is alive, then this changes everything. It means he launched a new world for God's kingdom and creation. Started in a garden, headed towards a city in Revelation, bringing order from chaos and brightness from desolation. This isn't about religion, it's God's redemptive restoration. Because Jesus did for us what couldn't be done on our own. While we were still sinners, he stepped down from his throne. But this king didn't bring judgment, he bore it. And the veil between humanity and heaven, he tore it, taking all your chains and nailing them to that tree, walking from the tomb a new life, setting every captive free. Showing that even in death, God's with you and has your back. Because all the punishment that sin deserves was poured on the Son for your behalf. And since he was blameless, you're now included with him. It's why you're baptized in water, showing the cleansing from sin. And it's now by his brokenness that you can be made whole. Because when he said it's finished, that meant paid in full. Now imagine that first morning when the world was flipped on its head. When God became king because he didn't stay dead. The grave officially robbed of its crippling power, so any uncertainty of your future can no longer devour. Because an empty grave means the fullness of life is possible. And death can't hold the living God, it's not fake news, it's the gospel. And the same resurrection power is now yours to receive. The very spirit that raised Jesus can live in you if you just believe. Because he holds all authority in every domain. There's no place in all existence that doesn't know the power in his name. So do your digging for truth. You'll come to the only one who saves, finding that all of your doubts are as empty as his grave.
You're always talking to the crew. Welcome back to the TIVOMIKE show here on Blog Talk Radio and everywhere fine podcasts are found. We even may be on Spotify in a week. We'll let you guys know next week if we were accepted. Yes. So boom shakallah, we are moving up in the world. Our scripture of the day is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 17. Just remember, we are the fastest growing and number one pop culture infused Godcast in the nation.
Right. All right, guys, here we go. Isaiah 1, chapter 1, verse 17. Learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That should be the motto for Chicago Justice. So bring it back, and then that's what it should be about. But that's do right by the people who are being hurt.
Yes.
Do right by them. So what we have to do as conservatives is we have to do right by the leftists.
We've done this
because they lost their evil woman in the pantsuit. So they're really sad about it, Mike. They're so sad about it that they've concocted a whole story in their brain that some dude, a ruler of another country, picked our guy somehow. Like, that's how crazy they are. Woo, they're loco en la cabeza.
Well, I will say, the conservatives, the Republicans, can we get off of Hillary's coattails? Stop trying to make her the object of anything right now.
Oh, they love it. And here's why. They know that the Democrats don't want the pantsuit lady no more because she wacko, she loco en cabeza. She's now the kryptonite to their winning.
Yes.
And so she knows that because she's evil. And so she keeps coming out and making sure that she's making noise because she thinks they turned their back on her.
Okay.
Because they don't want her no more. Now they want anyone else.
I get that.
They want anyone else. It's her fight to them, right? It's her way of sticking it to the party. Like, you guys turned your back on me, and you dropped me. Remember that book that the black girl wrote? The political pundit lady, who was the CEO of the Democratic convention thing. Yeah. She wrote that tell-all that said after Obama, the Hillary campaign ran the Democratic thing, which is not supposed to happen, and she ran it into the ground. So she didn't like that at all. So instead of killing the black lady, which I thought they were going to do, thought this lady's going to be all dead the next day.
Why do we make too much noise?
Right. Because they have way too many family members, because we like a lot of sex. So there's a whole bunch of people they'd have to shut up, because they know she told everybody. So if something happens to me, say this, So they knew. So she came back and is now fighting the Democrats, the Republicans, because they're so can't know how to do nothing. We run the whole government right now, and we still can't get stuff done.
I know.
So they're incompetent. So they're nervous about this year's elections.
Really?
So they're highlighting Hillary to keep reminding the conservatives, remember, we don't like them. We need you to come out. Because Republicans don't come out during midterm saying, we stay home. Well, who cares? Well, we should care, because the whole Congress is going to be owned by the Democrats, and Trump doesn't have a center.
No.
He's going to go with whoever is in power. So if it's the Democrats, he's going to do all Democrat stuff.
That's true.
So you're saying, so we should care. So we need to highlight Hillary for now.
I'm hearing her.
My
goodness, she lost.
I know.
Now we sound like her cheerleader because we keep bringing her up.
Yes, we need to bring her up until the midterm election is done to remind people to go out and vote again. Because we're going to get a whole lot of little Hillarys up in the house soon. We nervous. We're nervous. That's what's going on. But that's back
here. So my greatness in the show, right? So we get a very extreme case. This little boy is left at the pool hall. And the pool hall is, there's a lifeguard. There's a bunch of people there.
Wait a minute. You were going to tell you about the...
I'm just going to tell you.
Okay.
So in the pool hall, something happens and a fire breaks, but it's not a fire. One of the electrical wires come down, so people on around the pool are getting zapped, and they're trying to prevent the wire from falling into the pool because the scoreboard is falling down.
Right.
So they get everybody out. Thankfully, only 2 people were electrocuted, but they lived.
So they were already in the pool.
They were on the floor. The lifeguard was in the chair where the wire first fell down on the floor next to her, so she got zapped. Some guy tried to pull her from the wire, but got zapped because electricity is a conductor.
Right.
So
it's going to hold the whole thing.
And there's kids in the water. So the 2 firefighters jump in, Cordova and my girl kid, and they pull everybody out. There's this little boy in there. He's scared, so he doesn't want to. Everyone gets out. Everyone gets picked up, but this little boy doesn't. So they bring him back to the firehouse.
And little boy, he's like 8?
5.
5.
So
sad.
So whatever. That's part of the story. This is how Otis becomes a little bit feeling his ability to be useful.
Gotcha.
Now Cordova goes to the bar, Molly's.
Okay.
And Dawson's there. Because this is a firefighter hangout.
Oh, so they all...
Yeah, but Dawson, Otis, and Herman own that bar. They're partners in ownership of that bar.
That's right, you're talking about that.
They're drinking, and this random black firefighter who was on Cordova's last house...
No, who worked with the other guy.
He goes, Cordova, what are you doing there? And he goes, we want to check it out. He goes, no, you told me you'd never come to Molly's. He goes, no, I never said that. He goes, yeah. And, he's had a couple of...
He's drunk.
He goes, yeah, you said, you wouldn't come here because you banged one of the owners. Casey's sitting right here. Dawson's actually working the bar that night, the owner that he banged. And it's 2 dudes and a girl that own the bar. So you kind of know he ain't talking about the other dudes. So all of a sudden,
and she had not yet told her husband.
No. So all of a sudden, they're sitting there, and Casey's just looking around.
Oh my God!
And he finishes his beer. He puts his money. Casey's the husband. Puts his money with the beer down, and he just leaves.
He pulls a Dan. He says, I'm just going to go to the garage, drink myself to oblivion. My wife just had sex with Otis. A guy named Otis. Cordova, whatever.
Otis is the good guy.
He's a good guy. Cordova. Oh, that's not so bad then. Otis. He would change his name. I think a thin guy would change his Otis name. Yes, I know. So change it. Anyway, we have the power.
She's saying, ooh, you got one life to live. Yeah, I understand the pain, the feeling solitary. When I would wake up in the morning and my happiness was buried. Under all traumas, hurts and depression, I lived in two worlds I couldn't contain the pressure. Cause I was representing someone I never was. Another lost soul I was living just because. My shame was heavier than me for me to carry it. I had to lay it down, I saw the king die and bury it. I don't deserve this, but he did it out of love for me. Romeo and Juliet? Nah, this is the greatest love story. And I remember sitting down and writing all my thoughts, but that page was always blank, all that picture was a cross. But I couldn't draw it down, cause I was scared to surrender. I was tired of my mess, I was another pretender, another offender. Is he my defender? Just call me a vendor, I went away from the splendor. I couldn't identify, I felt ostracized. I didn't know there was a savior that already paid the price for me. But that truth I came to know, I felt a different love, he made me one of his own. Did my creator really die for me? Did my God really die for me? Man, these thoughts don't really fit in my mind. I can't stand one more second, that ain't wasting my time. But how many times I fell short of the goal? My heart's getting cold, and next was running out of go. When I just throw me a stone, losing my hope, becoming bold. But I believe there is a king that can restore my soul. Hope, I found it on the third day. The day I met Jesus wasn't on a Sunday. Envisioning a dream, I had a hope of someday to become the real me that I thought was astray. And you ask, where's the hope in all this mess? You're sitting down with the thief, seeing his moves in a game of chess, playing with your feelings, bringing again this depression. But a drastic turnover comes from a simple confession to convey to the Savior that you won't guide your life by your own. And I promise you, if you do that, you will never be alone.
You got
La la.
Whatever.
So, as I was saying, right? So all this stuff happens, and then they switch gears again. They go back to the story with Otis trying to feel useful. So they can't find out who this little boy belongs to because the parents weren't at the pool hall. Whatever they go through.
And the pool hall is not the watering hole where Otis just left, or the husband just left.
No, that's the bar. That's
the bar. That's what I'm thinking.
So the pool, like a swimming pool.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay.
And they save everybody. Everyone's safe. But now they have this little boy, and they don't know who to contact. So they don't want to go right to contacting child services.
Why not?
Because it wasn't like the parents. The pool hall was like I don't want to say it's like a daycare, but it's like a center where you can drop your kids off.
Oh,
but because of the two people running it, the lifeguard and the guy who was the coordinator being electrocuted, they don't have any way to say who's this kid's parent.
But they can look at the sign-in.
And there were some things they were trying to find and determine, but the little boy was still like in shock. So
and he's still so young.
He's 5,
right.
So while he's coloring, Otis starts talking to him. And that's when he finds out his name and all this stuff.
Great.
So they look up search the name of the father he gives, all this stuff. They find the parents. The father picks up the son.
Okay.
Boom. All of a sudden, the mother comes in. I need to pick up my son. It's like, my son? He left with his father.
Yeah.
And she's like,
I forgot to call him.
He doesn't have custody. Da, 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 da. And it turns this whole thing.
Well, how'd they call him then? Now, how'd they find?
They searched his name, Frank Barlow, and found him in the yellow pages or whatever, white pages.
Oh, so her name didn't come up. Only his name.
They said, who's your parents? Oh, my dad's name is Frank and my mommy.
Oh, he didn't say the mom's name. God, okay, that makes sense.
So they look at Frank because they only have that name.
Right.
He comes and picks him up. They go through all this trouble. Now she's threatening to sue. She can't believe they would let him go with the lunatic father. Da-da-da-da-da-da. First off, how are they supposed to know? Second of all, how are they supposed to know? Third of all, how are they supposed to know? It's not public record when you divorce.
Each of these three things you brought up are good points.
It's not public record that you divorce and all this stuff. So, yeah, because I'm like, what? So they go through all this. So now Brian feels like crap because, Otis, his name is Brian Otis.
Right.
So Brian now feels like crap because he's like, here I was trying to be useful, trying to be helpful, and I just created a lawsuit because the slave's threatening to sue.
Yeah.
Well, she
good
went
luck
quick.
to her.
She said, I'm not even going to wait for the court. I'm going to go right to the media and tell them what you guys did unless you cut me a check.
Yes, you're going to go to the media and say, so we took a 5-year-old, found their father, the kid was in shock.
Thank you.
And gave him back to the father who came in. Yes, you're right. We are so media wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So
first of all, the media is totally fine about cops killing innocent black people. We're totally cool with OJ. And we're all A-okay about Oprah selling her company. But this
is a big deal.
This is going to take us down.
So they go Brian goes
and the
one more
media love
time.
firefighters, so
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
the worst?
Well, he goes one more time to kind of fix it, and he goes to the house and he's going to apologize. Well,
To her?
as he apologizes for messing up and giving the kid to the wrong parent, he's leaving, and as he walks by the car, he sees the decals, those things people put on the car.
Wait a minute, did he already apologize at this point?
Yeah, he apologized, and she closed the door in his face, so he's leaving.
Gotcha.
On the car, it has a decal like the mom, the dad, the kid. Frank, it's the dad. It says Frank. The mom, mommy, the little boy, Z.
Right.
He goes, if they're not together, why does her car have decals of the family?
Have you ever tried to remove a decal from a car?
Well, no, and I think it didn't look old.
Oh.
They looked brand new. So he knocks back on the door and he goes, so Frank and you aren't together, but you have a fairly new looking decal that says you are. And she just looks at him and she gives him the death look.
Right.
And as she's giving him the death look, Frank comes to the door. Honey, who is it? He takes his phone out. He's like, thank you. And he walks away.
Why in the world would she
scam artist? Because they knew they could get it. Milk money from the city.
They don't think the city would have done research before going to court or whatever?
Well, no, because they tried to get it to go before court saying they're going to go to media. And because they want to avoid the bad press, they'd cut a check.
Oh, I see. So they purposely left their 8-year-old there for this to happen.
Well, she left him there. The husband came right away when they called. So
evil, manipulative parents.
Yeah.
I say
you should see the husband's face when he's like, wait, the firefighter's here. He looked confused as heck.
Because he didn't even know that the mom was doing... See, divorce. Divorce today on the TIVOMIKE Show.
I'm out of my mind today. You just don't feel right for me. But no matter what they say, 'cause we're still together.
They said all the best things in life are free. They're full of You gotta pay bills. Gotta save for retirement. What are you gonna do? Become a drug dealer? Sell your kidney? You gotta get real. TIVOMIKE can help you. TIVOMIKE's money coaching program will help make more Benjamins and less Jacksons. TIVOMIKE will help you deal with collectors, pay off debt, and get your life in order. Let TIVOMIKE show you the money. Visit TIVOMIKE.com/money right now. That's TIVOMIKE.com/money.
Look into my eyes and show me adventures I haven't seen. Taking all the...
All right, guys. We have to cut her off because I want to make sure I get out the end of 5.
Yes.
The end of the storyline for this part of it.
Yes.
So now, Casey and Dawson had their little argument about what's going on.
Right.
And she thinks he's mad. And he's mad, but not mad that she didn't tell him.
Oh, he's
mad
not
that she felt she couldn't tell him. And the line he gives her that
Uh-oh.
I feel was perfect. So she's like, listen, you gotta say I'm sorry. He goes, listen, it's not even about being sorry. He goes, but this isn't the first time you've kept something from me, and I'm your husband. He goes, every time you find the reason to keep little things from me, you're creating more distance for us.
Yes. Ooh,
And I just want us to do it together. I love you, and there's nothing that's gonna change that. So I need you to know that. And I was just like, boom. Like,
drop the mic.
To have him, first off,
that's exactly right.
Both perspectives, both spouses are guilty of this.
Right.
Instead of worrying about not saying something because you're worried that it's going to hurt,
right?
Or you're worried, know that the hurt is there more when the spouse realizes you don't trust, you can confide in them.
Because the whole point is you to be together. Say what doggone happened.
So I just love that he gave her that line. It wasn't like dramatic. It wasn't like he was a female about it.
Right.
He was emotional.
That was Michael.
Sorry, guys.
You can send all your hate letters to @EGMike84 on Twitter. #MeToo or whatever.
I just love that it came in like that, and it was
very matter of factly, pragmatic. That you're wrong, and boom goes the dynamite. Make sure that you walk daily with the Lord Jesus Christ. I love you, saints.
That's right, and as always, subscribe at iTunes and Google Play. Be sure to rate us. Also, write us if you like us. If you don't, whatever. Until next time, I'm EasyMike84 on Twitter. He's TivoMike on Instagram, and our show, The TivoMike Show, is on Facebook.
Woo!
Hi, Saints. It's Mike Warner, associate producer and entertainment guru of the TIVOMIKE Show, and this half hour of our show is over. Feel free to join our 135 subscribers and check out our TIVOMIKE YouTube channel, where we have over 127,000 total views of show clips, full episodes, TIVOMIKE Soapbox, and more, all free, anytime, anywhere.